Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin. Alan Ruff and Tammy McManus are here with me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join the football family at PLZ Soccer. We're delighted that you are showing us your support right across our social media and especially on our YouTube channel. Over and above that, if you download the app, you'll get all the breaking news at your fingertips. So much to talk about on the show. The Dons lucky 13 and they're ready for the battle in the West. Celtic leave it late up at Dingwall but managed to fight back to win against Ross County. There's a Cherny double for Rangers and big worries in the capital for Hearts and Hibs. Just a few of the topics we'll be talking about, but we'll start with a little bit of sad news. One of the legends of Ajax in Barcelona, Johan Neeskens, has sadly passed away at the age of 73. And you've encountered him on more than a few occasions, Ruffy.
Yeah, I counted him way back. Scotland under-18 team versus Holland under-18 team in a UEFA tournament at Ibrox. They beat us 1-0 in the semi-final, and I think he scored. But they had a wide range of young players coming up. Obviously him, Johnny Rep, the Van der Kerkhoff boys and everything. But no, absolute legend in Holland, there's no about that. And then he went on to play in the national team as well.
Yeah, and of course you would have played against them in 78.
Yeah, did we have to talk about that?
Yeah, well, you won.
Yeah, I know, but I think he scored as well. He did score that game, in fact. No, he was a mainstay, you know, in the Dutch team then, a really, really good Dutch team, and they got to the final that year. So, no, I think in Holland they'll be very sadly missed.
Johan Neeskens, who sadly passed away at the age of 73, and he really had a golden era in the colours of Ajax, winning 3 European Cups and 2 Super Cups, and of course with Barcelona he got the Cup Winners' Cup and the Copa del Rey. He actually went on to play for the New York Cosmos as well. Lots to talk about before we get into that. Well, Aberdeen seemed to be the club of the moment, so we thought, well, why not give some Aberdeen fans the chance to indulge and win in our competition?
Here at PLZ Soccer, we're giving away this Aberdeen away strip. All you've got to do is leave the answer to this question in the comment section below. What was the last year Aberdeen won the Premier League title? Good luck.
No.
Yeah, we did.
There you have it. Ruffy, just talking about Aberdeen. Yeah,
I saw a Facebook photo in the dressing room with all the players in there, and the underneath bit was they'd qualified for beating Ipswich over a 2-leg thing, and I thought it was a UEFA Cup, but I didn't know how far they got.
They won the Cup Winners' Cup in 1983. They had actually played against Liverpool in the European Cup and get thumped, but they played against Ipswich and knocked them out. Bobby Robson's Ipswich side, and a good side it was too. So that's a good competition chance to win a nice away strip. These away strips are becoming ever more popular, Tom.
That could be worth a fortune when Aberdeen win the league at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Could be a collector's item.
Well, absolutely. Don't knock it, because there'll be a few people on here absolutely to give you pelters on this. Ruffy, we're going to start. We might as well start with Aberdeen. I think it's only fair. They get a goal after 2 minutes. They brought Neil Simpson on at the start with the Cup Winners' Cup. Everybody paying tribute to Simi. And then from there, Keskinen gives them the perfect start.
Yeah, everything's going well just now. They're getting wee breaks here and there. Obviously, the first goal was a bit of a deflection, but you'll take it, you know, and after that, I thought they looked a wee bit vulnerable at the back, the wee bit suspect, and you know, Hearts come back into the game. But at the end of the day, when you're winning games like that and you're on a run like that, you know, you get the breaks and you get the things that are going for you. Obviously, the winning goal as well, you know. So you take everything that's going.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it boils down to. You take all these lucky breaks early on.
Well, as far as the Aberdeen boss is concerned, Jimmy Tilleen, that's 13. The club record for Aberdeen is 15 wins in a row. And even when they were behind, I think the Dons manager paid tribute to the attitude of the players and the fans.
Yeah, because it was difficult today. Hearts did a lot of good things, but still you see and some mistakes not usually don't happen, but still we stay like together as a team, and they take this extra run in the end, and some extra tackles, win some more duels when we have to get inside the game again, and then we start creating chances again. We don't create so much in some parts, But then we are arriving much better in the end of the game in some areas, and also how we attacked the box, and it was nice to see. And you can see the fire in the eyes of the players and how they push each other and really compete together with the fans on Pittodrie today, because I think everybody can feel the atmosphere today was something extra, and it was amazing actually.
Yeah, the buzz around Pittodrie is unbelievable, but let's be honest about it, Tam. Great credit to Aberdeen for the way they went about their business, but Hearts had a number of chances to actually finish them off.
Yeah, they did. I don't think it was probably Aberdeen's best performance of the season, but encouraging sign if you're not playing particularly well and you're still winning games. I thought Hearts would go up and give them a good game. Obviously, the win during the weeks really gave Hearts a boost. They're still looking for a manager, and they went 2-1 up with a fantastic goal from Blair Spittle, and you thought Aberdeen's bubble was going to burst, but you've got to give Aberdeen credit. Got the equaliser straight away. The red card helped. I think that once Hearts got the man sent off, it was a kind of trying to hang on for a draw, and Aberdeen get the late goal. But 13 wins in the trot is some start of the season for Aberdeen. I said it a couple of weeks ago that Aberdeen had third place tied up. I think they have now. I think they're so far ahead of Hearts and Hibs that third place is tied up, and they'll be looking to target second place. They've got a big October coming up. Obviously, they've got Celtic away, I think, the next game, which is going to tell you everything about this Aberdeen team. If they can go down to Parkhead and get even a point, the Aberdeen fans will start to get really excited. But the next few games are going to tell you what this Aberdeen side is all about.
Yeah, you think they could split the Old Firm?
I'm not so sure if they can split the Old Firm, Peter, but I think if they come out of October still with that gap over Rangers, when Rangers have got European games, then you never know. But if they go down to Celtic and Celtic they get a heavy defeat off of Celtic, then you'd think maybe not. Maybe they have had quite a favourable run. But if they go down to Celtic and pick something up here, then I think they have the confidence to go and try and split the Old Firm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody is talking about here at the moment is, can they go to the West, which Fergie and his team managed to do on more than a few occasions, Ruffy. Can this Aberdeen side? You look at it, I mean, Nicky Devlin's been called up for the Scotland squad. He chips in with a vital goal as well. I mean, Palaversa was a £7 million player at one point. They've got him. He's chipped in with a goal as well. They've got players that can produce something, but is it enough against the Celtic side?
Well, in days gone by, everybody thought it was enough, and then all of a sudden they come down to Parkhead or they come down to Ibrox, and they get turned over, so they'll have to do something they haven't done before. I think it was 3 or 4 seasons when they were up there with Celtic, and everybody was beginning to talk about it again, and then they collapsed over Christmas and New Year, and that challenge went out the window. But as it stands just now, these are the important games. I said a couple of weeks ago the Aberdeen Rangers game up at Pittodrie, would be a sort of an eye-opener of where they actually are. Obviously, the Celtic game will be where they are as well, but I think if Rangers were to go up to Pittodrie and they were to beat Rangers, then people would start saying, well, maybe we can split the Old Firm.
Yeah, there's quite a few people on thinking we're indulging in some kind of patronising. There's no patronising. It's quite simply they've won 13 games on the trot. It's up to Aberdeen to write the narrative. We can only look at the games and the way they're playing. Ian Noble says lots of talent at Dons. Quite a few people are complimenting him on the way they played. And of course, Michael Taylor says the boys keep working tirelessly right to the final whistle. Credit to Jimmy and the coaching staff, and most importantly, the players on the park. And Aurora says, what a fantastic start to the season. Third place is the target. All the talk about second is media talk. Well, at the end of the day, the only time that will gather pace, Ruffy, on this show is if indeed suddenly they start, going to the West, getting a point against Celtic or beating Rangers up at Pittodrie. That's when you actually get to the point where you say, well, wait a minute, there's a gap here.
Yeah, I mean, fans have been fans. They have to believe it as well. If you were to get into Parkhead and get a draw and then beat Rangers up at Pittodrie, fans being fans will say, well, this is going to be our glory year, but they have to maintain it for the whole season. As I said, I thought at the weekend things went for them, and obviously the deflection over Craig Brown, and even the third goal, the boy has a swipe at it and misses it. You know, it falls right to the boy. These wee things, you take them while they're there, because sometimes there are clubs at this precise moment in time, we'll be talking later on, aren't they getting their breaks?
Yeah, before everybody canned you, Craig Brown wasn't playing in goal. It was Craig Gordon.
Craig Gordon, sorry, Craig Gordon.
Yeah, I knew that. I could see him all over it. He was absolutely just waiting to batter you over the head, Ruffy, with it. But Craig Gordon, you're absolutely right. Listen, just on a wee flip side to that, Hearts still seems to be. I mean, lots of jambos that I was talking to yesterday are saying, who's the manager?
I think they've been waiting for the break, Peter. I think they've left it to Liam Fox and the staff to get them to the international break. They've obviously got a great result in Europe. They're sitting bottom of the league. You know, I don't think anybody will be panicking just yet, but they're in a terrible position. I think they've picked up 2 points, you know, and going into October. So it's a really, it's a dreadful start for Hearts. I think the performance, obviously, at the weekend was a lot more encouraging. I think they've got a lot of good players at Hearts. I don't think they'll be anywhere near the bottom two, but you're right, there's not been much coming out of Tynecastle at all from Andrew McKinley or the board or anyone, you know, in terms of a manager. So obviously getting done, you know, things have been getting done behind the scenes, and I think there will be a manager during the break. I think they will appoint someone.
I think he established that if it won't be a Scottish person. I think Andrew McKinley's already on record as saying that.
Yeah, I think that they'll be scouring Europe, they'll be scouring Scandinavia, they'll look at Jimmy Tilleen, who's come in and been fantastic. They'll be looking at that market, they'll be looking, you know, maybe other leagues in Europe and looking for someone who fits the criteria in terms of the way the team plays, results, you know, playing young players, selling players on. There'll be a lot of criteria going into the kind of black box, you know, thing that Bloom's got. So I think they will appoint someone in the next week or two, Peter, before the next game.
Okay, Ross County 1, Celtic 2. Yet again, Celtic show their fighting qualities, this time coming back against Ross County. Hale scoring from the penalty after missing the first one, got a second chance to retake it after it was deemed that Schmeichel had actually come off his line on this one. This is what Brendan Rodgers had to say on the game and the 2-1 victory. If you look over the course of this week, we've had thousands of fans turn up in Dortmund. They've seen what they've seen, which wasn't great, but they still give us a great support at the end of the game. Now they've come up here for a 12 p.m. kickoff, so the very least you can do is run your heart out right till the end, and that's what this club is about. It's the fabric of the club. You keep going until the end. Well, they certainly did that. Johnston, don't think he knew too much about it, stuck his hip out, got the goal, and then Kuhn's finish was a touch of class, Ruffy.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, Johnson didn't know anything about that, you know, and I think it gave Celtic a wee lifeline, you know, to kick on for the rest of it. I think Ross County were trying to see the game out, but Kuhn reminds me of, and I hope I get this player right, the French player that always cut in his left-hand side.
Craig Brown?
Not Craig Brown. French player that Ribéry.
Oh.
Ribéry, you always used to say, don't let him cut inside. Because it's the only place he's going to go. He's going to cut inside and he's going to curl it with his left foot.
Yeah.
And that's what Kuhn's like as well. You know, don't let him cut inside. You know, push him down the side. But no, the boy never got near him. And you have to say it was a wonderful finish. But you have to, all right, Brendan Rodgers thanking the fans, quite rightly so, but they got away with one at the weekend. I thought Ross County were superb in the discipline that they set out to frustrate Celtic. Now, I know it's not the same as the Dortmund game, but it was a lesson that if you...
How is it not the same?
Well, it's a different team that they're playing, the Dortmund team. But what I'm saying, Ross County...
The disparity between Dortmund and Celtic is not as great as the disparity between Celtic and Ross County.
No.
But the Ross County... Absolutely not. Ross County's wage bill, in comparison to Celtic, is huge.
That's the point I'm making.
But the point here is, Ruffy, which I'm asking you, is Don Cowie decided we can't go toe-to-toe with them. Yeah. We're going to decide how can we try and nick a result.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make, but you've obviously made it a lot clearer than what I was making. They did. They went out and they showed that you can, if disciplined, and you get players throwing themselves in front of shots and everything, get a wee break here and there, that you can get results against teams who have got much, much more money than you. So, I mean, I know the point is I'm not saying it defeats what Brendan Rodgers said about the Dortmund game, but I think everybody to a man thinks that he has to change, but he's not going to change.
Well, the point I think, you know, that we are discussing here ad nauseum with regards to Brendan Rodgers, nobody's debating the fact that he's a good coach. But as a good coach, I think you have to, as he makes players better players, which you have to give him credit for, and as he analyses the team and orchestrates the way they're playing football, which is good football to watch, he's also a coach that has to satisfy the demands of Celtic fans. He's already mentioned it there. Celtic fans have paid a lot of money to go to Dortmund, and Celtic fans have paid a lot of money, and they head off really, really early to get up to Dingwall. He's created this small pocket of people, and I argue with more than a few of them, that when we get them on the message board, Tam, he's created this illusion and narrative that, he's going to play this way, and it's, if you get 7-1 and you get humped and you spent a lot of money going to Germany, then it's because, they're able to outspend us, and I'm not going to change the way I play. And I stick by what I say on this. If you are a coach who wants to become a great coach, you have to work out ways to beat an opponent that is favourite, that is better than you, and sometimes you have to go against the way you would normally want to play football. That's what great coaches do.
Yeah, and that's been the question since the game finished, Peter. There's been a lot of talk about it. That Brendan, he should have maybe sat in a little bit and been a little more pragmatic in terms of defensive shape and maybe played in the counter attack. And I get all that, and I agree with that. I think if he's going to go to Atalanta and get a positive result, he has to sit in and play in the counter attack. He cannot play 4-3-3 and go and high and press them like they've done with Dortmund, because they'll get picked off. They're playing against a better team. So whilst I do agree that's what he should do, Ruffy mentioned it, he's not going to change. He's going to play. I think you've seen Ange Postecoglou yesterday, 2-0 up. You think to yourself, just you're 2-0 up, maybe go a wee bit more. No, went for the third goal and got beat, and that's probably why Ange maybe won't get to the very, very highest level, because he doesn't adapt. But Brendan, for me, has to go and adapt in the Champions League when he's playing against better opposition. At home, fine, go and have a go. You're at home. Away from home against Atalanta's, Dortmund's, PSG's, teams like that, you cannot be open and expansive like you are here in Scottish football.
Ross County nearly got a result. They were 15 minutes away from it.
The one that the boy chipped at 1-0, I think that was a good chance for Hale. If that goes in at 2-0, I don't think Celtic would have come back and won the game. I think at 2-0, I think they maybe come back and got a draw. But whilst it was 1-0, you just thought if Celtic get a goal here with 10-15 to go, they'll go and win the game at 1-0. And I agree with Ruff. I thought Celtic were really, really poor in the first half. Second half, they dominated the game, but they got the goal at the right time to go and push on and get the winner.
And the other aspect of it, which again managers have to do, is he has to basically bring on 4 big name players to try and get them that result.
Yeah, and that's the strength and depth that Celtic have got. He's probably looking at the team, and for the first half, even start the second half, they didn't really come firing out, and then he makes 3-4 changes, and you can see the strength and depth of players coming on. Are just as good as the ones going off. There's serious competition for places. I thought Engels had a poor game, and I thought Luke McCowan came on and gave Celtic a little spark. So you get serious competition in midfield. You've got Adam Ider coming off and Kyogo coming on, and Celtic going to win the game. But it's probably the worst performance I've had this season, apart from the Dortmund game. Domestically, that's the worst I've played Celtic, but Celtic still win. And that's
one of the worst. One of the wee worst things that's happened to all the other teams is changing the 3 substitutes to 5.
Yeah. So it's a bigger teams, bigger squads, big time.
It's the big squads with the big players that can throw the 5 on, and it's obviously helping them, but it's not helping the others.
Yeah. What did you make of the penalty?
Oh, he's off the line. He comes off the line.
Yeah.
It has to be a retake.
Yeah.
I think the matter of time we were playing on before anybody was. You were waiting and somebody shouting somebody's ear, but they were still playing away, and it happened. But it was the right decision. Again, Scales his hands out there. It's not something I like, but to get a free hit at a goal for that is a soft one for me.
Yeah, okay. Don Cowie, no surprise, well proud of his team.
Yeah, disappointing for them, in terms of the effort that they put in. Again, keeping a top quality side, relatively quiet in terms of real goal scoring opportunities. I said beforehand it was about being compact, concentration levels, and I've seen an abundance from the group. and then for me they score a goal which is never a foul in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, quite a lot of people have their comments on this one. Of course, Ross County played well. I think quite a few people pointing out nearly got the result is not getting the result. Absolutely, we take that on the chin. That's exactly the obvious thing to say. 15 minutes, he stuck to his guns. The argument here is, did he want to go toe-to-toe with Celtic? If you go toe-to-toe with them, they just pick you off and give you an absolute hammering the way Celtic were hammered. Brian, who is Mr. Angry, he says, Peter, why don't you apply for the Hearts job? You seem to know a lot about tactics, formations. Please stick to the day job. Well, the day job, Brian, is giving you an opinion. Some you like, some you don't. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out quite simply that a lot of Celtic fans spend a lot of money, don't want to go right across Europe and get absolutely battered 7-1. And I know a lot of Celtic fans that are like that. They want to see...
There's ways of losing, Peter. I think there's ways of losing games. And I think when you look at over the last 4 or 5 campaigns in Europe that Brendan's been involved in, there's been one doing every time away from home.
Yeah.
And you just cannot... If you go away and you stay in the game for an hour and you maybe lose a goal, a late goal, and maybe lose 2-0, then fine, you're always in the game. But if you go and you open up like Dortmund, the game's done after 25 minutes. And all these supporters that have spent all the money, you're 25 minutes, the game's finished. So yeah. I think he's got to be more pragmatic. Or maybe the new format, he's thinking to himself, doesn't matter, we'll win our games at home and we'll maybe pick up a point away at Zagreb. And I think that's what we'll probably do.
I think you're right, because Dermot Desmond was interviewed yesterday, I think at the Dundee Links Championship, and he said he's happy with what Celtic are doing, delighted with what Brendan is doing. And over and above that, he reckons, get a couple of more wins at home and then nick maybe 1 or 2 points away from home and the job's done. And I think, Ruffy, so people don't lose sight of it, and we're in social media land now, people lose context of any argument, is quite simply that if they get through this by winning their home games, as Tam mentioned, that's job done for Brendan. You can only analyse the other aspects of it is, do you want a doing in certain games? And I don't think Celtic fans want to see, after going to Germany, have a few scoops with your mates, get into the ground, get your photographs taken with a few Dortmund fans, but you don't want to see your team getting scalped.
Well, the other thing is, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket to win your home games, it puts pressure on you to win the home games. It means you've got to win them.
Yeah.
And I agree, if Celtic had went away to Dortmund and put in a reasonable result and come away, say, with a 3-1 defeat, we wouldn't be sitting here, breaking it in, and sort of dismissing it, because 3-1 would have been a reasonable result, if they'd put up a show. But if you go away to Atlanta, and I don't think for a minute Celtic will lose 7 goals to Atlanta, but if it was a 4 or a 5, then what you're doing is you're putting an element of fans sort of, as you're saying, not happy. And you don't want to have your fans going away from home and spending money and being not happy, because that filters on to other games that are coming up, and all of a sudden you get a home game and everybody's sitting there going, God, we need to win this. We need to win it. And the players know they've got to win it. So it just puts added pressure on you.
Yeah, just before we move on to Rangers, Tam, nevertheless, great credit to both of them. Celtic and Aberdeen are suddenly giving us a bit of a real excitement in this first quarter.
Yeah, both have won all their games. It's brilliant. I think I spoke about it last week in the show, Peter. We want to see a more competitive league. We want to see Celtic and Rangers going to Hibs and Hearts and Aberdeen, and you think they could drop points here. It hasn't been the case, particularly over the last couple of seasons with Celtic, going away and just winning every week. I think there was a season that they went unbeaten. They scored over 100 goals. They absolutely romped the league. It wasn't competitive at all. So I think it's great to see Aberdeen. I hope Aberdeen are up there as long as possible. I don't know the last time someone out with the old firm split them. Is that a question? So who was the last time to finish in between Celtic and Rangers in the league? And if they do that, then they'll have a Champions League qualifier.
I think it might have been Aberdeen. Yeah, I think it might have been Aberdeen.
The 90s?
No, I think when Rangers come back up, they wouldn't have come back up at full strength you know, with the spending ability. I think it would have been...
Derek McInnes in maybe second.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'll check that, but I'm almost certain that's the situation. But the other thing I was going to say to you is, you know, we need that competition. Obviously, we can't get the competition from Hearts and Hibs because they're trying to fight off relegation, Ruffy. So Tom's going to have a difficult...
he's got I can't wait.
He's got a difficult period.
Well, which way it's going to go? Is it
the column?
Is it
teetering?
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair to you, you give an opinion on here, but the erratic nature of you in that column is absolutely blisteringly funny.
Another pal and a Sugly.
Eh?
Another manager, pal, and a Sugly. Depends which way.
Well, I have to say, the Jonah. I was with him in Drumchapel the other night. There, Ruffy. He was. I mean, the junior side of Drumchapel, they took to him. They really enjoyed him. He was fantastic, and at one point he went down that well. I was waiting on him, holding his hands out as if he was the business.
Not many people we know do that, is there?
No, no, absolutely not. But your man went down an absolute storm. There was more than a few people at Drumchapel United's dinner to raise funds for the club, and they were great. They were great fun, weren't they, Tom?
That was a great gig. We've seen a few ex-players, Nacho Novo, David Templeton.
Yep.
I think there's one more, can't remember, but that
Wild.
Greg Wild plays for them, but he wasn't there. So good setup, Drumchapel United.
Yeah, brilliant. It was they were all really good lads, and it was a lot of money raised for them, which was absolutely magnificent. So good luck to them. As far as the next game, Ruffy, Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0, and it's amazing how you can have one of those weeks when you feel the world and everybody's against you after you've missed an absolute sitter. And Cherny will know all about that for Rangers. A week, they say, is a long time in politics. It can change in football because he scored 2 lovely goals. His first one was a peach.
Yeah, it certainly was. Took it well, nutmegged the boy, then curled it into the far corner. The boy's got ability, but as a footballer, sometimes you've got to deal with the kind of things. I think it was a week ago, he had a wee go at the supporters as well, during one of the games. So, he's coming into a new environment, and he's having to adapt, the demands of playing with Rangers and what the fans want, and then obviously it was a bad miss, there's no doubt about that. But to come back, it just shows you the character that he's got, to go into the game and score 2 good goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Rangers manager, Philippe Clement, emphasised the fact that he's had a tough week, but he's bounced back.
From the first moment he came into this club, he's been working really hard for the team. He was really down after Thursday by missing that chance, and he felt really responsible in that way because he knew it was a really important moment in the beginning of the game. If you can score, you have a totally different momentum of the game, and it can be a different game then. So he's experienced, and he talked about that with me. So it was a really open and good talk. But he didn't lose any of my confidence in that way.
Yeah, full marks to the boy. Sometimes, though, I don't get it. I mean, we understand the nature of social media and some people who come on who are just poisonous and negative and think it's okay to go on and batter a boy because, I mean, who goes onto social media to absolutely slaughter a boy for missing a sitter?
Yeah, I think he's had a tough week. I read that he deactivated his Instagram as well, so he's obviously been getting abuse from supporters, probably some of his own supporters as well, which is poor. But that's the culture, and that's the world we live in today. I think that football, any athletes, are fair game. You can get to them, you can tag them in things, and people read stuff. So it's hard to get away from it unless you just come off it altogether. And a lot of football players want to be on Instagram and places like that, for themselves. So I think the 2 goals were excellent, Peter. I thought at the start of the season, I thought he looked a real player for Rangers. I think he's been poor the last few weeks, culminating in missing 2 great opportunities, one against Malmo away from home and the one the other night. So for him to come in and score 2 goals will give him a lot of confidence. I think he looks like a confidence player. I think that is going to give him a massive lift. Because I don't think Rangers were great. I think they were better than St Johnstone. But it took 2 real moments of quality to win the game. And Rangers, as we've said so many times, they just need to keep winning. Doesn't matter how they play, they need to keep winning until that game in January against Celtic.
I was right, Tam. I thought I was right. The last time a team split Celtic and Rangers was 2016-2017 when Rangers returned
Come back up.
and Aberdeen finished second in 76 points. Celtic won it with 106 and Rangers were third with 67 points. So, they have done it, but there was obviously the change in the finance available to them, Ruffy.
Yeah, but still, that fans remember the years, that's not that too long.
And they managed to do it in 2017, 2018 as well,
Not
Ruffy.
too long ago, no, and that's why we keep hearing the Aberdeen fans, thinking of the tradition that the club's got. Obviously, we know they won the European Cup, but in leagues have always been top three, for a long, long, long time. And now I think it was 19,000 at that game at the weekend. And it just shows you if you get a successful team like that at home, the whole Aberdeen will turn up. And also other clubs are benefiting from their away fans when they go away, because they go away in numbers as well.
Yeah, when we monitor players and we offer our opinion on them, I'll tell you, you couldn't console the boy Hagi, who's just come back and picks up a red card. I mean, it was a bad challenge, I have to say, Tam. But I felt sorry for him, not for the challenge on Kimpioka because it was a bad one, but what a time he's had.
Yeah, obviously he's been playing with the B team. He's not been cited in the first team. They've came to an agreement, I think, with the club. They've maybe split the difference in terms of the money he was due to get with one more appearance. He gets that appearance last night, and I think it's just lack of game time, lack of sharpness. I think he's just went in to try and tackle. I've done that as a striker myself. You're not used to tackling, and he just went in. It is a bad tackle. It's 100% a red card, but I don't think there's any intent to get and do him. He's got a red card. I think he's getting 3-game ban now, and I don't think he's eligible for Europe. So I think he's out for the next 3 games. So just getting himself back in and then he's going to miss the next 3 games is a disaster for him, because the Rangers fans were excited about him coming back. They think that he can come in and make a real impact in the Rangers team, and he's not going to be cited in the next 2 or 3 games.
Are you one of those players who's gone through a kind of a? Have you ever in your career had that kind of a week that Hagi's had? You think everything's going against you.
Yeah, I think you do. I think as a player, sometimes you're flying high, you're scoring goals, and everything's going well. But on other occasions, you could get sent off, you could come back in, you could be missing chances, your confidence is low. I was in a similar situation, I remember, when I was at Dundee when Erik came in, and he wanted rid of me and Lee Wilkie because it was financial reasons. And then the team wasn't doing too well, and I came back into the team, I think, in the Scottish Cup game, and we managed to win it, and I got myself back in the team. But listen, I think that he'll be fine. I think that he's in the short window, from now to the end of the season, Hagi. I don't think long term we'll beat Rangers, but it's disappointing for the Rangers supporters who I believe think he can come in and make a real impact in the team.
Yeah, okay. Rangers get the win, and there's no ground lost between themselves and, of course, Aberdeen and Celtic. They're still there within touching distance. It's a huge time. There's an international break to get things organised. Just out of curiosity, do you see this Aberdeen side coming to Glasgow and winning?
No.
No? Splitting Rangers and Celtic?
If you ask me that question after Aberdeen versus Rangers at Pittodrie, I would have a better idea, but they have to get through a couple of obstacles before that.
If they were to beat Rangers at Pittodrie, would you give us a definitive statement, one of those absolutely blistering lines?
I'll get you it now. If they beat Rangers up at Pittodrie quite comfortably, I would say, yeah, they've got a chance of splitting the Old Firm.
Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff, Tam.
Yeah, I think that, obviously, Peter, I think they'll get some tough games coming up. I think they've got Dundee United as well, who are doing particularly well at the minute. So, yeah, listen, I look at this Rangers team, and I think it's a team that's in transition. I think it's a club that's in transition. I don't think Aberdeen will maybe get a better opportunity in the future, to finish above Rangers than this season. They've got points on the board, the confidence is high, but that game at Pittodrie is huge. Ruffy's right. If Aberdeen win that and they can go 5 or 8 points ahead of Rangers, that's a big gap, and they can go and split the Old Firm. But I think the 1st of November, 2nd of November is the time to kind of say, well, Aberdeen split the Old Firm, because they've got a tough month coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's the one that everybody's going to cane you for, that line. The Dons fans absolutely hate it, although I'm a bit worried because our reporter, Kobe's up there, and his report at the end of the Hearts game at the weekend, Ruffy, I thought he might have spontaneously combusted. He was just absolutely high as a kite trying to get the excitement over.
Well, if you're an Aberdeen supporter of the season you had last year, you have every right, to be as high as a kite just now because of the season you had last year. So you enjoy every minute of it. As I said, 19,000 at that game at the weekend shows you that the majority of Aberdeen are enjoying what they're seeing.
Yeah. Okay, let's go right now to the news.
Hi there, I'm Kerry, and here is your daily news update on Monday the 7th of October, brought to you by Arnold Clark. Dundee boss Tony Docherty says he takes full responsibility for his side's downfall on Saturday afternoon, but admits the game was decided on a moment he couldn't control.
I've got to say, I will accept responsibility, absolutely, for my team's capitulation at the end of it. I will accept that, and I'll work on it, and I'll try and make things better. But when there's things that you're not in control of, and that being a pivotal moment in the game, then that's where the huge frustration comes in.
Rangers manager Philippe Clement says he has no arguments with Ianis Hagi's red card against St Johnstone on Sunday evening, and says the challenge was clumsy.
There's no intensity in the tackle, but it's more clumsy challenge from a player who was tired at that moment.
And Ange Postecoglou says his side 3-2 defeat on Sunday afternoon was one of the worst defeats he's faced as manager of the London side.
No, so that's probably the most disappointing loss I've had since I've been here in terms of the way we went about it, and it's something I need to assess.
For all the latest breaking headlines, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, and don't forget to download our app, which is available on Google Play and the App Store.
Yeah, the one thing that's predominantly talked about throughout any programme, whether it's on radio or TV or indeed in the written press, is when a manager is going to get sacked. And now it seems to be getting quicker and quicker when managers could get their jotters. Paul Brady says if Rangers don't finish second, Big Phil will get his jotters. So an interesting topic there. And Bob says, let's see where Rangers and Aberdeen are after 18 games played, both home and away. Not a bad point. Have to agree with you on that. Bob also says Aberdeen deserve huge credit. So it's one of those situations where a lot of people offering the credit that Aberdeen deserve, questioning Rangers and whether they'll be able to inflict pain on them at Pittodrie as well. Big month that we all accept here coming up for them. Thanks for your comments as well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Thank you to so many of you for the figures we're getting right across all our social media on Facebook and Twitter. You can like, share and follow, and you can download the app as well. Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 3. And Tony Docherty was far from happy. You just heard from him there. He reckons the ref played a major part in their defeat.
Absolutely devastated because it's another game, and I genuinely feel our last 3 home games, and it's all right me bleating on about this, we should take maximum points, because in terms of levels of performance, and when it's 11v11, I think we're showing a level of performance that should be picking up points. But you know what, the reality is we're not. I'm hugely frustrated, but I must focus on it. I don't think the game would have went that way at all. I thought it was a good game actually. I was really enjoying watching my team when it was 11v11, and the referee made a decision that massively affected the game.
Interesting point there from him. Do you agree with him, Tam?
Yeah, I don't think it was a red card. I think it was a pivotal time in the game. Obviously the team capitulates in the last 3 or 4 minutes, no 2-1 up to lose 3-2. But it's a huge decision in the game, and he's right. I think Dundee have been hard done by. I think Willie Collum phoned him a couple of weeks ago about a decision and apologised. There could be another phone call today, for that decision, for the second yellow card. Wasn't for me, and it cost some points again. But you've got to give Kilmarnock credit. Not easy to play against 10 men, but they kept going to the end, and a huge result for them. They were looking at bottom of the league and going into the national break, and a real downer. The young boy Bobby Wales, it's a brilliant bit of skill from him for the winner. Ball comes out the sky, traps it, takes the player on and puts it in a plate for the wee boy Anderson. So I think Derek will be delighted with that 3 points. It gets the monkey off their back, gets their first win of the season in the league. And Dundee, just things are not going particularly well for them. They're not getting the rub of the green at the minute, and they're on probably the worst run that Tony's been on. It's been great from the start for Tony, but they're on a little bit of a sticky run at the minute, but I'm sure they'll come out of it if they keep putting in good performances.
Yeah, to be fair, even Gary Mackay-Steven chipped in with a wee bit of skill that created a goal.
Yeah, he did. You know, but when you get a goal and it's 2-1 and you've got the man advantage, the momentum's with you for the last 5-10 minutes of the game. You've got to throw on players in the forward areas, and the ones that he threw on inflict in the game. You know, but for me, the wee boy Cameron, he's got to hit that ball into Rose Ed for the third goal.
Yeah.
You know, there's seconds to go, and he tries to keep the ball in play, and it gives, obviously, Kilmarnock possession of the ball. Just boot it into the stand and deal with the throw-in that's coming. Just
take the point.
Just man management in the last bit of the game for a young player.
Yeah, but these are the pointers, you know, that people have to take into consideration. We're going to come to Motherwell in a second, but quite simply, when you go through that bad run, if you've got a sensible board that understands the longevity of the season, the nature of the team, that wee rub of the green, that little bit of luck, Tam. They're on a run now where they haven't won a game in 4 defeats consecutively, but this is a testing time for Tony. He will understand that. He's made a rod for his own back because of where they finished last season.
Yeah, getting in the top 6 last season was phenomenal. I mean, just coming up from the Championship to get them in the top 6 the first season back in the Premier League was outstanding. You're right, you know, Dundee fans will have been expecting, well, we're a top 6 club now. I think he got a lot of good loans last season that worked out well. I still think they're a good side. I think they signed Simon Murray, who's a great signing for them. You get 4 defeats in a row. I'm sure if you sat down and analysed those games, they could have took 4 maybe 6 points out of those games, but they've not had the wee rub of the green. But no, I don't think he's under any pressure at all. I think they'll be fine. As you said, they're just not getting a wee rub of the green at the minute, and once they get that win again, they'll get back to winning games again.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Derek McInnes is hoping for after that victory at Dens Park.
We all know draws don't get the job done. It doesn't get you at the bit. We were a wee bit slow out the blocks last season, even though we beat Rangers in the first game. And you know, it's a wee bit something similar. We've been threatening to put in winning performances. We've been almost there over 90 minutes, but no quite. Whether sending offs, a bit unlucky here and there. I was getting fed up talking about us being a wee bit unlucky, and we just needed to win a game of football. And today we won, and it was hopefully it's a good reference for us going forward, that one.
Yeah, fair play to Derek McInnes. They've been on a poor run, but suddenly that win could give them the confidence they need. Talking of confidence, right now we're looking at Hibs 1, Motherwell 2. You two guys must be on a downer at the moment. Ruffy, what's your take on it?
I said on Friday it had to be a home win. It had to be, you know, reasonable performances here and there. But when you come at home in front of your own supporters, large numbers at the game, they're looking for a win. They're looking for something to hang on to the end of, you know. But I just couldn't see anything at the weekend that was going to do that. They looked sort of slow in all their build-up. You know, it was nobody with any spark at all. Obviously Boyle's not there. There's nobody creating anything, and I thought Motherwell deserved the win in the end of the day.
What's your take on it, Tam?
I thought first half Hibs were probably the better team. Could have scored, could have went ahead. The first goal's always vital in these games at Easter Road. Motherwell will get it. Then Junior Hoylett gets equalised, and you think the momentum's with Hibs to go and win the game, and then, you know, a stupid red card for me. You know, Ianis, first one's for diving in the box. But when you're on the yellow card, you cannot dive in like that into a tackle. You know, he absolutely kills his teammates, he kills his manager. He's been excellent for Hibs. You know, he's been a good signing, but that's just a stupid tackle, stupid lunge. And then just almost straight after that, Andy Halliday scores to go 2-1 up, and the game's dead. So, yeah, I mean, they're not getting the rubber green. I was a wee bit more complimentary last week against Rangers. I thought they played well this week, not so good. I don't think David's under pressure, but I think that the saving grace for him is Hearts are bottom of the league at the minute, and I think that's, you know, Hibs supporters are going, we're still above Hearts, but we've got to start.
It's not exactly
second bottom.
I know. Not exactly. Oh look, they're in the quicksand, but they're deeper than us.
I know. That's what Hibs fans will look at. They'll look at the table and go, well, we're still above Hearts, but. Yeah, it's a really, really disappointing result, and David needs to start winning games. You know, it's okay us saying they're playing okay and playing well, and they've got a decent squad. They switched off for Halliday's goal, big boy Quan. Ball comes across, he's sleeping Andy Halliday, and ex-Hearts player as well comes on and scores. So it was a disaster for Hibs, a disaster of the result, and they've got to go and lick their wounds going into international break now.
Yeah, David Gray, the Hibs boss, didn't mince his words.
Actual in reflection, I think nearly every shot they had in the second half, I think it was 4 or 5 in the second half, all came as a result of a set piece, which in some situations is unprofessional if it's just not doing your job, whether it be not tracking your man or not showing that desire to make sure your opponent doesn't get in front of you, or a simple by switching off in these moments. These are big moments in the game. We knew that going into the game. I don't know exactly the number, but at least 40% of Motherwell's goals have came for set pieces, as it is every week in this league. You know, been in the league long enough to know that set pieces are huge at every level, but very much so in Scottish football.
There are many ways to win a game, Ruffy. I mean, we were talking about in the last 20 years, if you were talking about somebody, you said, give me the name of a player who is famous for a long throw, and you would automatically think of Rory Delap, who used to launch them in. I don't know about you, but in the last, over the last week or two, I've been watching some of the games in the Scottish Premiership where the long throw is there. Quite a few players.
Motherwell, was the boy from Motherwell on Saturday?
Yeah, he was able to fire
and Lewis Miller was doing it for Hibs.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like a set piece, isn't it? You know,
it's a set piece because you've got to deal with it, you've got to practice it, you know it's going to come on the Saturday, so during the week when you're doing set pieces, you have to designate somebody who's going to attack the ball. There's no point in everybody going to attack the ball because you all end up banging into each other. The goalkeeper's got to decide if he's comfortable enough to come out there and take it, which is a breath of fresh air for everybody if he can do that, but it does cause problems, you know, if it's thrown far enough. And in fact, I'm going way back a long way, and some of the older people will remember Jackie Husband from Partick Thistle, the way back in the 60s, could actually throw the ball by the faraway goalpost.
Yeah, wow. Kofi Balmer, I think, has got much more to him, though, for Motherwell than just being a long throw. I think Stuart Kettlewell wanted to emphasise that, although it's a brilliant weapon.
Yeah, he did, but Ruffy's right, it is a great weapon. And Robbie Nielsen, I remember playing against Hearts, need a long throw. And they'd be the land of the Giants, Mark De Vries, Stephen Presley, guys like that. They're difficult to defend against, so it is a bonus if you sign someone, you scout him and he's a good footballer, but if he's got a long throw as well, it's an added bonus, particularly in Scottish football.
Yeah, and of course, I think Jim Goodwin, the Dundee United boss, summed up his 1-0 win of his team at his old club, St Mirren. It was one of those games where I don't think it'll be going out to DVD, according to Jim.
I've got no. I don't need to guess what game will be last on the highlight show tonight. It'll definitely be that one. It was, very, very scrappy game. The players deserve all the credit. As a manager, you can change the shape and change the tactics from time to time, but you can't put that character and that desire and that heart into the group. That just has to come naturally, and we've got that in abundance, and we've shown that numerous times this season.
Well, fair play to them, because there's times when you've got to win ugly.
Yeah, they defended for their lives. They were throwing themselves in front of everything. Kevin Holt come on, and again, that's a big part of his game, is getting in the road. But I think when we see the St Mirren manager, he'll be gutted that he never took something out of that game. All the best chances fell to St Mirren. They just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Obviously, Dundee United goalkeeper had a couple of saves, but in reflection, I'm sure you would think you at least get a draw at that game.
Yeah, one of your old gaffers used to say that, winning ugly. Who was it?
Bobby Robinson, maybe.
Yeah.
Alex McLeish.
Alex McLeish.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously everybody wants to go and play free-flowing football and win 3-0, but sometimes you've got to gut a game out and grit it out, and that's what happened at the weekend. Both teams, physical outfits, maybe cancelled each other out, and one wee moment of class wins the game, but yeah, I think St Mirren would count themselves unfortunate to lose that game with the on chances created.
Yeah, okay. What were you going to say there, Ruffy? You had that kind of a...
No, I'm just saying it was a great strike for Ross Docherty.
Yeah.
For the goal. Obviously, the goalkeeper saw it a bit late, but the boy reacted very, very quickly.
Yep, fair play to Dundee United. You can give us your thoughts on all things domestically, because we're going to the international break. It's Tam's favourite.
Another one?
It's Tam's
every week now.
He just hates it, doesn't he? Tam's favourite period is international break. We've got Croatia coming up and Portugal at home.
Great.
Yeah, but it's strange actually. It's like, Ruffy, as a kid, I loved international football and love watching and going to watch Scotland. He's not a big fan of all that. He likes the domestic stuff non-stop.
I think it's the way it's structured now, the games, the Scotland games. They seem to be just thrown in there, you know, and everybody, I don't think anybody knows exactly where we are playing in this Group A.
Well, it's better Nations League though, Ruffy, because one, as Steve Clark says, you're playing better teams. Two, it takes away the international friendlies, which I think are a waste of time anyway. I think club friendlies are a waste of time as well. I mean, a complete and utter borefest.
Yeah, it's okay if you're winning the games against the big teams, but we're not. We're on a bad run now, and every time we get beat, you know, our rankings go down, and I think Stevie Clark will know how important it is to have a high ranking when the World Cup groups come out. We don't want to be in a third in a group, we want to be second, and you only get that if you're winning games. I can see that playing against these teams make the players better players because they come up against a better opposition, but if that's the case, when you go and play the smaller teams, you've got to win them.
Yeah, okay. You can give us your views on international football. Lots of content that we'll be firing out to you this week. The Women's Football Show is on tomorrow. We'll have the journals on Wednesday, and of course Football Show Wednesday and Friday too. There's lots of chances for you to win that Aberdeen shirt. We'll maybe play it one more time to give you an opportunity on this feed, but there's a great opportunity for you to win yourself quite a few prizes over the next few months. Just quickly having a quick look down at the English Premier League, and as ever, strangely enough, there's one manager that I think is absolutely red hot favourite for the sack is Erik Ten Hag. I just don't know what is happening in the background of Manchester United.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent performance yesterday, but Peter, I thought they deserved at least a point. I thought they were the better side. Obviously, a point's not good enough for Man United. You know, they want to be, I think they're languishing in the bottom half of the table.
Are we being unkind to them then? Is it a case of maybe there's a long-term strategy that they just need to show the same resolve they did when Alex Ferguson was under pressure?
No, I don't think he's cut out for it, Peter. I think the job's too big for him. I think the club's too big for him. They're battling away. They obviously come back at the last minute during the week in Europe and got a point, and then good result away at Aston Villa. But Man United should be in the top four. They should be challenging for the titles and cups, and they're miles away for that at the minute. So, yeah, I think you'll find in maybe the next defeat or two, that'll be him out the door.
Yeah. Ruffy, did you share that view?
Yeah, I'm surprised the boy Radcliffe's not got anything to say about that. He's sort of keeping his distance. And every time somebody asks him, he goes, "Oh, it's not my choice. I'll not be making that decision." But somebody's got to make a decision, because obviously the supporters demand a better showing for a team like Man United, and I just don't think the players that they've got are Man United players. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They just seem to be good players, but not really good players.
Yeah, I don't see where the strategy is. I don't see what he's doing. There's no real DNA of what a United side, is for me what a United side should be. Because if you go back to Sir Matt Busby and the way he set up his team, he wanted to make sure they were hard to beat, but he also had that spine in the middle, and he had that little bit of class out in the flanks, and that blueprint is exactly the way Sir Alex Ferguson built United side. Solid at the back, great goalkeeper, good spine that could mix it up with the best of them, and then out on the wings flair. And then, of course, when you've got some strikers, you think of the great strikers that they've had down through the years. When you're getting supply in from the side, you knew what Fergie's side were all about, but not this one. I just don't see it. Too many individuals, and then some of them, we've already discussed Bruno Fernandes, not really the kind of a Man United captain that you think of. But nevertheless, just a little footnote on Ange Postecoglou. They're great to watch at times, Ruffy, but it's harem-scarem for Tottenham fans sometimes.
It is, and I think the Tottenham fans were hoping after, Ange had said, well, my first season I don't win anything, but the next season I always win something. So they've all bought into that this could be the year we might win something, but you've got to be, when you're 2-0 up, and creating chances, you've got to take them. And then if things go against you, just like we've been talking earlier on in the show, you've got to show another style.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've got another style.
There's no plan B.
There's no, they don't know how to. They just want to entertain, and entertain is magnificent if you're winning games. The fans will buy into it, but fans won't buy into the second half performance like that, and you can see he's absolutely gutted.
Do you think he'll last to the end of the season?
Yeah, I think so, Peter. I think that if you see the game, I watched the game yesterday. First half, they could have been 5 or 6-0 up, but if it went to 3-0, they'd have went for the fourth and the fifth, just by Ange Postecoglou plays. There's never going to be, right, okay, we're 3-0 up, we're 2-0 up. Let's just take a striker off, let's put a defensive midfield player on, let's shut up and get out of here, which a Jose Mourinho would do. That's just not his style. And for a neutral, I'm not a Tottenham fan, but for a neutral to watch, they are the best team, and they're the best team in the world to watch, because you don't know what you're going to get. You could be 2-0 down, they could come back and win 4-2, they could be 2-0 up and get beat 3-2.
Yeah.
It's just one of them where they're great to watch, but if you're a Tottenham fan, I can understand it can be frustrating.
Yeah. We were talking about Aberdeen at the top of the programme. We did show you a competition that we are running there. We might as well fire it out again, just to give you a wee insight. If you're a Dons fan, we cater for everybody. We've got lots of prizes coming up, but here's the latest one that we're offering for Aberdeen fans.
Here at PLZ Soccer, we're giving away this Aberdeen away strip. All you've got to do is leave the answer to this question in the comment section below. What was the last year Aberdeen won the Premier League title? Good luck.
Okay, there you are.
Do you know that answer? Nothing.
Last year that Aberdeen won the Premier Division title. Don't be guessing, it's a bloody competition for
I'm not saying it must be around about, I would say around about 80s, 90s.
Yeah, okay, there you are. Thanks.
That throws it open.
Thanks for being that bloody vague about it. Anyway, just on that point, Ruffy, did you like the top? Do you like they're changing these days, all these tops?
I did. I was actually really stunned the other day when I saw the Dundee goalkeeper strip. I don't know what he's into. And that's a bit outrageous.
Yeah, too much for you?
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay, I must give a mention to the boys at Edinburgh United. They've had a tough year. They were relegated. They're starting to build, get it back together. I was with a few of them yesterday. Some of the gear they were wearing, Ruffy, in the Collington area was slightly
the skinny jeans and the white trainers and stuff.
Well, not only that, some of them were wearing lumberjack outfits. I mean, it was a real mix, Tam, of
an affluent area.
It is an affluent area. I mean,
did you walk in and go, yes?
That's exactly what I did, Ruffy. I just thought, here's enough material to cane them. Although I have to say, I was a wee bit thinking, a bit more reserved when I was in the drum with the Drumchapel boys.
You heard about their strikers' escapades?
Yeah. Exactly. I was a wee bit more, calm.
I can't comment on that because it's a police investigation, but it was quite funny.
It was funny. It was good, actually. And so good luck to Edinburgh United for the next season. Let's hope they get back up a division. It was good to see all the boys there. Thanks very much to some people who want to actually win the Aberdeen top. If you're not an Aberdeen fan, there's no hassle. You don't need to be negative about it all. One thing we would like you to be positive about, we want to thank everybody who has offered their support over the course of, it's hard to believe, Ruffy, since we kicked this all off from that phone call from you all those years ago. We're still going strong after, 12 years?
12 years, amazing. Yeah. People come and go, but some people hang about just a little longer.
That's good, Ruffy.
That's the longest I've ever been anywhere.
Is that right?
Usually released.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, Hibs for 7 or 8 years, but I must have been here for about 5 or 6 now.
Are you here 5 or 6 years?
I've not been released.
Well, listen.
Incredible.
Let's not forget.
Pictures I've got
we're
here.
not releasing you because we really like you. The other thing about it, Ruffy, is let's not forget where we picked him up from, because obviously, we know talent. We saw something in him that the BBC didn't see, and we managed to influence him to come and join us. You remember that, Ruffy?
Yeah.
I said, let's get Tam. The BBC have obviously, about to give him the
You always
Bosman.
ask me when you're bringing somebody in, do I like that guy before you actually.
Exactly.
So.
There you are. And Ruffy, who the deciding say, says, let's get him in. He'll not threaten me.
I'd already heard about it for the hot tub.
Exactly. He cleared it with your wife. Anyway, the reason I'm on to that is quite simply this PLZ. We're delighted that so many people are following us. We bring you not only the football show, but lots of other different programming and lots of content as well, one-to-ones, mini documentaries over the years, and we hope you've enjoyed those, and we're going to try our hardest to bring you even more of that. But with your help, it will give us an opportunity maybe to enhance not only the technology, but of course the coverage that we're going to offer to you. So have a wee look at our new Kickstarter project and see if you want to maybe get behind us and join the football family with a few spare shekels if you've got them.
Hi there, I'm Kerry. If you would like to help PLZ Soccer with our new Kickstarter project, then please click the link below to offer your support.
Yeah. Simple as that. There's a link in the feed today. All you have to do is click on it and it'll take you through to explain our new Kickstarter project, which hopefully you can help us along the way, and we'll bring some new technology to the show and enhance what we're doing at the moment, Ruffy, which is we always like to push on and take it even further.
Yeah, I think you have to get out there where we were 12 years ago with the two boards behind us and show you how much things have moved on.
Yes, we had two boards, 4 GoPros, and if Ruffy cracked a joke, the whole studio moved because it wasn't set up the best time, but we're still here. So any help you can offer, then by all means, share it with so many people, the link if you can, but click through, have a look at our video and see if you want to become part of that football family and support us. We'd love your support. We've enjoyed it today. Hopefully you have. Thanks to Tam, thanks to Ruffy, and from myself, Peter Martin. Thanks for watching and listening.